maybe increasingly strict immigration policies. We never can tell because that's what we're seeing lately. Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. I am Adedigba. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the new proposed policy by the UK government on how they are planning to ban international students from bringing their spouses and children. And if you're just getting to see my channel for the first time, I want you to hit on the subscribe button and also turn on the notification bell so that you might get notified whenever I drop content, okay? And also make sure to like and also comment on this video. So let's dive right into it. Folks, the UK government is trying to look at a new policy that could prevent the spouses and children of international students from joining them in the country. And it seems that the UK is trying to make Brexit look like a stroll in the park. Well, who knows, maybe just maybe. So basically, under this proposed policy, Tier 4 student visa holders will no longer be able to bring their loved ones with them when they come to the UK to study. So, international students, come closer. Leave your spouses and offspring at home because you are going solo. And the only good news is that you won't have to worry about a third wheel on those university pub crawls. Yeah. But let's come to think of it. Why is the UK government trying to consider this policy? And it seems the government is concerned about the strain that non-UK residents place on public services, particularly the National Health Service, that is the NHS. And of course, this policy has received a lot of backlash from education providers and even immigration experts who believe that it will make it harder, or let me say, to make it difficult for international students to choose the UK as a study destination. Because let's be real, studying in a foreign country can be intimidating and lonely. And having loved ones by your side can make all the difference. There's no denying the fact about that. And without them, international students might end up feeling like a character in a dystopian novel. But fear not, the UK government has your best interest at heart and they want to make sure that you have the full study abroad experience without any distractions. Trust me. And after all, who needs a supportive partner or a cute kid to come home to after a very long day of lectures? You've got Netflix and microwave meal. That's all you need. So all jokes aside, this policy could have far-reaching consequences for the UK education sector. And if international students are unable to bring their families with them, it could also make the UK a less attractive destination for studying abroad. And that's a shame because the UK has a lot to offer international students, from top-ranked universities to vibrant cities and diverse cultures. So at the end of the day, it remains to be seen whether this policy will be implemented or not. But one thing is for sure, if this policy does go ahead, the UK will have a whole lot of lonely international students wandering around its universities. So if you're an international student considering studying in the UK, you might want to start working on your social skills. You are going to need them. And on the bright side, if the UK does implement this policy, international students will have a new skill to add to their resumes. Let's say long distance relationship expert. Yes, why not? Because couples will no longer be able to be by each other's side except through long distance relationships. I don't know if that's what the UK government is trying to achieve. So forget about studying abroad to gain academic knowledge and cultural experiences. This is your opportunity to become a master of maintaining a distant relationship via FaceTime and iMessage. But let's be real. This proposed policy has the potential to create a lot of stress and anxiety for international students. And that's it. And moving to a foreign country to study alone is already a big enough step, and without having to worry about leaving loved ones behind. So now imagine trying to navigate the complex maze of university bureaucracy and coursework, all while missing your partner or child. And it's enough to make everyone want to call up in a ball and cry. Of course, the UK government concerns about the strain that non-UK residents place on public services is understandable, and the NHS is a precious resource, and it's important to ensure that it can provide quality services to everyone who needs them. But the question is preventing international students from bringing their families really the best solution? And that's the question begging for answers. It even seems like a pretty extreme measure, kind of, especially considering the fact that international students contribute significantly to the UK economy. Perhaps the UK government should consider alternative solutions like investing more in the NHS and expanding its capacity to serve a larger population. Or maybe they could also work on streamlining the visa application processes for spouses and children so that international students can still bring their families with them, but with less bureaucratic hassle. I feel in the meantime, international students who are considering studying in the UK will need to weigh the pros and cons of this potential policy. So if you're an international student, just critically think about this. And the question will be that, do you prioritize your education and career prospects, or do you prioritize your family and personal relationships? It is a tough decision and one that shouldn't even have to be made in the first place. But here we are. And at the end of the day, the UK has always been a welcoming and an inclusive country with a rich history of cultural exchange and diversity. So let's hope that the government can find a way to balance its concerns about immigration and public services with its commitment to being an open and welcoming destination for students, international students. So after all, who knows? And it has always been that international students who had to leave their family behind end up making valuable contributions to the UK, whether it is through academic research, through entrepreneurship, or just being a good friend to a lonely British student. Yeah. And if the UK does go ahead with this policy, it could create some interesting dynamics on university campuses, such that international students might end up forming groups united by the shared experiences of leaving loved ones behind. It could be like a real life version of the Breakfast Club. And what's about the spouses and children who are left behind? Will they form their own support group as well, commiserating over their shared experience of being separated from their loved ones? Or perhaps they could start their own online forum, called something like, I don't know, or maybe they could swap views on how to deal with long distance relationships, or maybe share funny stories about cultural misunderstandings, and maybe even organize a meetup if they are lucky enough to be in the same country. So that's all jokes anyways. But let's not forget about the practical implications of this policy. And it is that international students who are unable to bring their families with them might end up struggling to find affordable housing and childcare. After all, the UK housing market isn't exactly known for being friendly to students or low-income families. And who's going to watch your kids while you are studying for your exams? Will you have to rely on the kindness of strangers, or resort to leaving your child in a study career at the library? So it is also worth noting that this policy could have unintended consequences for the UK's reputation as a study destination. If international students start to view the UK as a less family-friendly option, they might choose to study in other countries instead. And who could blame them? It is hard enough to study in a foreign country without the added stress of being separated from your loved ones. And at the end of the day, the UK government will need to weigh the potential benefits of this policy against its cost. Is it worth potentially discouraging international students from choosing the UK as a study option or a destination, or just to save some money on public services? Or is there a better way to balance the needs of the NHS with the needs of international students and their families? Well, I feel only time will tell. So if you have any preservation about this, kindly drop it in the comment section, all right, and I'll attend to them. Thank you for watching. I am Adedigba Aren.